Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Ramadan. I'll be bringing you guys some clips over Socom Confrontation, and more nor less, this is a third-person FPS shooter, and I think it's a lot of fun. I think it's a great and phenomenal game. It's been out for a long time now, so it's obviously gotten its exposure back in the day, but as it stands right now, it's not exactly on the hype or the to-buy list to many gamers, which is, to a certain degree, unfortunate, but I'm sure a lot of you guys have it if you're watching this video. When it comes down to it, guys, I want to elaborate on a couple things before we jump into it, because we don't exactly have a lot of time. And I want you guys to understand that if you guys are a Call of Duty, Battlefield, or Halo user, you know, when you guys see the final score in these videos, you're not going to be seeing nothing of the same consistency as of a Call of Duty or whatever video. SOCOM is a lot more tactical, and it requires a little bit more communication than the common game. Battlefield, I've told you guys many times, is a game that requires more skill than, you know, Call of Duty to a certain degree. Hopefully that doesn't upset anyone. I think a lot of us can agree to certain degrees because there is a lot more physics to it and a lot more reality is set into that game. But SOCOM is one of those games that is completely different, and the learning curve is really steep. It's one of those games that you'll either do really well in, or you'll fall into this life-sucking abyss where, unfortunately, you're not going to be as consistent as you would think. I've seen many players that are far better than me not do that great in SOCOM. That's just flat out how it is, because it's one of those games that just isn't that easy to adapt to. It's not a game that you can jump in and, you know, you can be a badass, because it's a little different. It's a very different title, and I think third person really mixes that up. And that leads me into my first thing. I wanted to briefly talk about third person, what the time we have left. Third person is an amazing feature. I think more games need to capitalize on this. If you guys remember, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 did a third person feature. I thought that was phenomenal. I thought that was a great idea. And I know a lot of glitches in Battlefield have had this happen. I mean, it's a glitch. It's not supposed to happen. The camera view gets fucked up. But third person is one of those titles, or one of those kind of features, that I think really makes the game a little bit more enjoyable. There is a lean feature, there's a lot more, you know, exposure to your screen, and you can see a lot more information. You can kind of maintain and hopefully predict your next movement by predicting what the other opponent will do. You guys will see me, you know, hug this wall for a majority of the gameplay, or at least you've seen already, and I hug it pretty heavily before I start getting naded and all that fun stuff happens. But that's kind of the nature of how this game functions. A lot of people hug walls, and when you hug walls, you pop out, you spray the guy down, you get back in there to do your reload. And I think that's a great and phenomenal feature, and I think more games need to capitalize on this, or at least elaborate a little bit more on it. So I'd like to know what your guys' opinion is when it comes to third-person shooters. I know they don't exactly have the hugest following, but when it comes down to it, I think they need a lot more exposure than they commonly get. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next installment. This is NMO, signing off. Peace.